Okay, so for the second video, which I'm making in a row today, I decided to pick a closest competitor as I can find for the Acura RSX. That was the car that I was using last time, and I was thinking about the competition, and even though this car is C-Class, this one is B-Class, it is a lot higher, but in real life they should be quite close. Mainly because that one is 2-liter engine, this one is 2-liter engine, this one's got 200 brake horsepower and it revs, this one's got 215 brake horsepower but it's got a turbocharger, so in real life they should be quite close, but as you can tell they are not close in this game, probably because the Focus handles a lot better, but for me they are still quite close. That's why I decided to check this one now. Focus RS from 2002, I think it is. I can't remember, but something like that. 2002, probably 2003, maybe. When this car came up for the first time, Ford promised road-going race, basically rally car. It's supposed to have 300 brake horsepower. It's supposed to have four-wheel drive back in the days, but as it turns out, it wasn't actually that close. It's got 215 brake horsepower, front wheel drive only, but it used to have a very clever diff on the front, so differential on the front. Back in the days, this car's got very good handling for its times. It was quite nervous back then, because everybody who was testing them, they keep saying that the car, as long as the road is smooth, it is okay, but if it gets bumpy, it's not alright anymore, because the car begins to be quite nervous. Back in the days, this car was compared to Subaru Impreza WRX, I believe, something like that, so not the full STI one, but WRX, which has close to that with the power. And from what I can tell already, this car wants to oversteer, so the back end steps. It is a front wheel drive car, so technically it should understeer because all the power, all the drive is on the front wheels. But assuming I haven't messed up anything with the settings, they are fine. I think we have summer and we have morning, that's how it should be. So the traction should be okay, but this car is light. It is drifting. I have to correct it quite often, as you can probably tell. But now I've done it just incorrectly, but I have to fight with it occasionally. It's not quick. You wouldn't expect 215 brake horsepower car in Forza Horizon 4 to be quick, but you can expect it to be fun. At least when I have a feeling of what's actually happening in the car. I don't know why I have still snow, or is that rain on my windscreen? Even though I've changed season, I've changed all the settings, but that's how it is. Just what to do with it. It's not quick. It's definitely not quick. It handles well when you are doing high-speed turns, straight, something like that. Nothing that complicated, but as soon as you have to go hard on the brakes and then do the quick turn like that, it's quite nervous on the back. If you would be playing on the gamepad, I don't know if you would notice that, to be honest, but because I'm playing on the wheel, I can feel back-end steps. If I would switch to the outside camera, probably this feeling would have been that bad, but it is what it is now, and I can tell you it is slightly, but I remember, because that's basically a comparison test, I remember that Acura RSX was doing roughly the same thing, so the back end was stepping out, even though this car should be a lot better, it is in the higher class. but it behaves quite similar. You obviously you can't race those cars against each other, at least not stop in the game, because obviously Acura is like 100 points lower than the Focus here in this game. But if you just try to slightly improve handling on the RSX, probably by giving it better tires, maybe some more power, like 20 horsepower, maybe putting basic stock turbocharger from the last menu, then they should be quite close. Is it a good comparison? Acura RSX versus Focus 1 RS from 2002, 2003, something like that. Well, no one seems to be playing those cars. No one seems to be playing with those cars. And to be honest, I don't know why. They are fun to play with, just because of the reason that they are fun, because no one is using them. So that's what makes them fun, at least in my opinion. I might be a weird person, but that's how I'm finding them. More about the Focus. I'm drifting, as you can see. I'm not very good at drifting, so if I let it loose for a second too long or something, then I would probably lost it. I have to rewind. But I've managed to hold it for now. Is it 6 gear? 6 gear. No, it is 5 gear transmission. At least stock. I can't remember if Focus RS was actually 5 gear. Well, probably it was. It has no power at all. I think I need to come up with a race which will let me test slower cars in a slightly different way. I've got an idea how to test cars below B class basically, because if you have C class cars, for the most of the time they have no power at all, so you don't really want to do full Colossus race with them. It's just gonna take ages. Imagine driving pure P50 stock on the Colossus. It will probably take 15-20 minutes, be boring completely, nothing would happen, and you will be just driving with the throttle full down, pedal to the metal, because how slow this car is. So I need to come up with another idea of the race. But there is something wrong with the weather. That's probably why I'm sliding everywhere, but to be honest, the same thing was happening with the Acura RSX, but not with the Ascari KZ1R, which I've tested just 10 minutes ago. On the same setup, on the same race, just on the slightly harder difficulty, because I made a mistake and I was driving an expert instead of new racer, which I'm using for those car tests. So, more about Focus. It is fun to drive in some ways. In the B class, drives pretty well, but it doesn't have too much power. So if you want to use it stock or close to stock, for example, you set yourself a challenge. Try to drive cars as stock as you can. More power is what it needs. It's not much because it's only 5-speed transmission, but it needs a bit more power. Otherwise, it is quite fun. At least for me this car is one of those legends. That's why I decided to drive them first. Let's see what I won. Not much. 6 mil on the account. Not much. Some influence. Go on. I want to see the perk tree, and then I'm gone. I need to make some dinner. What's wrong? I think it's probably trying to connect. Maybe because of the weather change, that's why the tires are quite slippery on the back, that's why it's stepping out. I need to retry those races in the actual summer, or maybe I need to improve some settings. Perk tree. Nothing interesting whatsoever. Only one wheel spin, which is quite expensive. Nothing else. So no cars, nothing. Okay, so that was 2003 Ford Focus RS, so that's the first generation Ford Focus RS for you in Forza Horizon 4. For me, on the wheel, very fun car to drive. For you, this is not a killer in this class, but if you leave it stock, handling wise, it might be winning something. Speed, not necessary. So that's it. That's my opinion on Focus RS.